For those of you who don't know me, my name is Deborah Gatz. I've been a medical intuitive and energy healer for 30 years. I've served over 5,000 clients in those 30 years and have developed 18 of my own proprietary energy healing techniques. I've taught over 50 students who have graduated from some of my programs, many of whom have thriving businesses today. So before we get into it all, I want to introduce you to Bernice, who is our co-host for today. Bernice, would you please let them know where the chat box is?
Yes, as a matter of fact, on the bottom of your screen, there should be a small icon and it's called chat. I want you to click on it and it will open a chat window onto your right side. And if you don't mind, if you can tell us where you're from and how did you hear about this webinar, and we can start. Thank you.
Yep. So say hi to everybody here in the chat box and tell us where you're from. Oh, Canada, welcome. Vancouver, BC, New England. And you got an email. Wonderful. Good. From Olympia, Washington. Welcome, Washington. From Toronto, you get my emails. Wonderful. Romania. Well, very welcome to you from Romania. Philadelphia area, Texas. Okay. Southern Cal, Wales, UK. Wonderful. Ohio. So we've got you from all over the globe. So again, welcome. It's so wonderful to see you. And today we're going to be talking a lot about what energy healing is, how it works, and we're going to talk about your own built-in capacity for intuition. Before we get going again, I have one little message for you. If you do not receive, some of you said that you get my emails. If you do not receive my newsletter, which I don't bombard your inbox, but if you want to receive my newsletter for notifications on when we post a new blog, when we run discounts and specials and other cool stuff, put your email address for us in the chat box. We'll make sure that you're signed up to receive our emails. Wonderful. So if you stay tuned till the end, you're going to receive my newest 20-minute healing meditation called Activating the Higher Heart. Now, this meditation is something that I created with my guidance system, with the divine, which will allow you to open up to a greater sense of the divine connection and love. So that will be at the very, very end. We'll tell you how to get that meditation and activation. So how many of you know that you're intuitive? Type I am in the chat box. How many of you just know that you are intuitive? Lots of you already. Good, 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 good. Wonderful. Even more. Wonderful, because that is actually the basis for energy healing. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got started. So those of you who don't know my story, I actually was kind of a seeker my whole life. I always wanted to know more. Who am I? Where am I? Who am I and what am I doing here on earth? Who am I in connection to this divine essence, to the universe that we all want to be connected to and crave? We crave that connection. So I sought most of my life. I went through studying various religions. And then in the 90s, I started waking up in the early 90s, waking up spiritually. I started to think different and really question things. So I got attunements to Reiki 1 and 2. I took that. And I put my little business card out in local bookstores, and people would come to me and I would do Reiki sessions for them. Again, this was probably 1994. But let me tell you what happened during my very first Reiki session with this woman I didn't know. She came to my house. I laid her on the table, performing Reiki. I was playing music, and I kept getting this impulse to tell her something. It's like, I don't want to talk to her. I don't even know her. But I kept hearing something about her husband. And in my mind's eye, I saw a capital T. So I still didn't say anything until it started almost like pushing out of my chest, this impulse to say something to her. So I finally said, okay, are you married? And she said, yes. And I said, well, does your husband's name begin with a T? And she said, no. But then she proceeded to tell me how 15 years ago she was married to a man named Tom. But then she also told me how one night, and they loved each other very much. One night they got in a big blowout fight, And Tom left to take a drive in the car to cool down, and he never came home. He was killed in a car accident. So this client of mine and Tom had never had the chance to reconcile. And here's Tom talking through me to her saying, honey, it's all okay. I love you. There's no need for forgiveness. It's all, I'm in a beautiful place. And she's bawling and I'm bawling. So I became a medium in my very first Reiki session, and I didn't even know what being a medium was. I had no idea. I'd never studied it, never heard of it. Okay. So that was my very first experience. After that, I just kept putting one foot in front of the other, doing what I was being shown, what I felt in my heart. And I knew that I was a healer because I read an ancient text years and years ago. I was probably in my 30s when I read this ancient text, wherein the masters said, the things that they did, we will also do. So I said, that's it. I want it. I want to heal people like you do. I want to love people like you do. So bring it. And I kept asking and asking and asking until, because I was already, like I said, I was already doing Reiki, but I wanted more. I knew there was more. And then I started hearing about medical intuitives. It's like, I want that. I want to be able to read the energy of somebody's body, and I want to be able to help them get better. Okay. And it was in 2014, another short story. It was in 2014 when I was home alone one night, and I felt this impulse to intercede, were the words that I heard, intercede for my friend who was out of town. So I put down my book and I thought, okay, I'll pray for their safe trip home. And all of a sudden in my mind's eye, again, I don't see things out of my, I don't see things in front of me visually. I see them in my mind's eye. And I saw 3 vertebrae in the middle of their back that were misaligned, and there was a bulging disc. And I thought, okay, well, I guess I'll just put it back together. And over in the corner, all of a sudden, this 10-foot golden angel appeared. And she slowly came over to me and embodied me. And together, we finished fixing my friend's spine. And today, their spine is completely healthy, no pain, no misalignments. So that was my very first medical intuition session, and it was remote. Nobody was even there in front of me, which was very surprising to me, but I didn't question it. So now my prayers and my begging of all these years had been answered. I knew that this was possible for me because I just trusted and just kept moving forward. And so then I called all my friends and I said, do you have any back problems? I want to test this again. I want to see if this is real. So my friends would come over and I would do a session for them, and they were getting better. Their back pain was being alleviated. Their spines were being corrected. So I called that Galactic Chiropractic at the suggestion of one of my friends. And so that's my story of becoming an energy healer and a medical intuitive. How many of you know what energy healing is? Write I in the chat box. Wonderful. Good, 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 good. Yay. A lot of you already know. Perfect. How many of you have had energy healing done for them? Right? Amazing. It's amazing in the chat box. Yeah, good. Wonderful. And it was probably a very, very wonderful experience for you. Wonderful. Good. And then how many of you have ever felt like a strong interest in, or maybe you've been feeling nudged to do energy healing work? Feel a nudge? Right. That's me in the chat box. Me? Good. Good. Quite a few of you. Good. Wonderful. Nice to know. Thank you for sharing. All right. So we'll begin now with a brief lesson on energy healing. So what is it? Okay, to put it in, and sometimes it might be a little difficult to find the words to talk about what energy healing really is, how it works. Well, it's basically a holistic practice, and it's based on the premise that the atoms of our body are 99.999% energy. Everything in the universe is composed of molecules that vibrate, and these molecules vibrate at different frequencies, right? The molecules located within your body are constantly vibrating and radiating positive or negative, balanced or unbalanced frequencies. And when that energy is out of balance, it can and will cause illness, pain, and disease, right? Energy healing comes in many forms, from Reiki, Qigong, to acupuncture, to sound healing, to medical intuition, and quantum healing. And that's what I do. So, in its purest form, energy healing does not actually use tools such as crystals or singing bowls. Energy healing, from my perspective, is purely intuitive. It's performed by a practitioner who uses their intuition to tune into the energy of a person's body and then helps to coax that energy to return to a state of what we call homeostasis or balance, right? We often call the energy of our body the energy field, right? We've all heard of an aura, right? A person's aura is their energy field, or the radiation of their energy, which is able to be seen by some and felt by most of us. So what do I mean by this? Have you ever been, say, standing in a grocery store checkout line, and you might feel somebody standing close behind you? Or you may have felt a presence in a room. This is you. This is your ability to feel the energy field of another. Let's do a little exercise on you feeling the energy field of your own body. So if you want to join us, I invite you to take your hands, put them together, the palms of your hands together, and rub them together for a second. And now slowly separate them. What do you feel? What do you feel the palms of your hands radiating to each other? If you don't, try rubbing your hands together again and pulling them apart. And you might even want to play with that energy. See how big you can take it. And then bring it back in. And maybe when you bring it back in, you feel the palms of your hands. They might even be pulsating. See? This is your own energy. Okay, cool. So what gives us that ability to feel your or the energy field of another person? It's called your innate body. Okay. Who's heard of the innate body? I can't see all the hands because some of you don't have your videos up, but okay. Some of you have heard of the innate body. So that is the piece and part of you that is wise. It feels, it senses, and it knows all things about you. It knows truth. And the innate body is that which an energy healer practitioner is reading, if so to speak, during a session with the client. So where is it? Where is the innate body? Well, it's not contained within an organ or part of the body. It resides in you, as you. It's in your big toenail. It's in your eyes. It's built into your DNA. It's innate body. Have you ever heard of muscle testing or kinesiology? When we perform this muscle testing, we're receiving answers from that innate body that knows the truth. Okay. Let me give you another good example of the way your innate body speaks to you. So someone's telling you a story or giving you information. Have you ever gotten the chills, goosebumps? Yeah, I think we all have. This is the voice, if you will, of your innate body. It's telling you that statement is true. This is true for you. Okay. But the innate body isn't our only communication system for reading energy. We all have intuition. Many of you know that you do. You told us in the chat box. Males, females, children, we all have that built-in capacity for intuition. So How and where does our intuition come from? I believe that our innate body plays a really big part in receiving intuitive messages. However, in addition to that, in your brain lies a very, very small gland. And this gland is called the pineal gland. In some traditions, it's known as the third eye. So, this gland not only produces melatonin and serotonin, which are vital hormones for our sleep and our moods, it's called the third eye because it is constructed exactly like your physical outward seeing eye. And here's an astounding fact. Your third eye, that pineal gland, contains piezoelectric crystals. That's the electric charge that accumulates in crystals and generates light and color. And this tiny pine cone shaped gland quite literally has retinal tissue and contains the same wiring as your physical eyes, connecting the gland directly to the visual cortex in your brain. This is what provides us with that inner vision, and again, is the reason that we call it the third eye. Another piece of hardware in the body that is responsible for your intuition is a ganglion of nerves that sits right below your diaphragm and just above your gut. This nerve bundle, also known as the second brain or the emotional brain of the body, is responsible for our gut feelings. It's one of the greatest gifts we're given to be able to discern what's best for us in life. We get a gut feeling. We're told to trust our gut. It tightens when there is the threat of danger. And when we practice listening to it, it can be our greatest companion through life. Let me give you a really good example. You hear some bad news, or you have a fear that something terrible is going to occur. You feel a threat of danger. What happens? Your stomach gets tied in knots, right? You can't eat. You feel nauseous. This is the energy of your body getting stirred up by your emotional upset. You can even have difficulty breathing, right? On the other hand, when we receive good news and life is going along pleasantly, this nerve bundle is open, it's relaxed. Your diaphragm is wide open and our breathing is deep and full. We feel confident moving forward with our life's greatest decisions, right? So, to sum that up, we all have an innate body. We all have a pineal gland. We have our gut to lead and guide us through life. And we also have the ability to feel our own energy field and that of another. So, what can energy healing do for someone? It can help relieve physical and emotional trauma, pain, illness. In my work, I've seen energy manipulation through energy work, through an energy healing session, actually shrink tumors, eliminate chronic back pain, rebuild cartilage in joints, and even strengthen spines and straighten them. On an emotional level, because we can find if we're reading someone's innate body that knows all things about them, we can actually pick up on their traumatic memories, their loneliness, their sexual, emotional, and physical abuse. We can even relieve the experience of them being in utero. We can rewrite past life and ancestral traumas. How does it work? We use what I call the clairs. Who's heard of clairvoyance? Yeah, this is the ability to see things with your inner vision, like I talked about earlier. And everyone has at least one clair. And in simplest terms, you have that maybe an inner knowing, and that's called claircognizance. You just know without a doubt. It's a strong sense. It's probably your innate body talking to you, right? You can have a strong inner vision, which is that clairvoyance. You see things without your physical eyes. You see them in your inward eye. Or you might get a really strong feeling in your body, especially if you're an empath. This is called clairsentience. Or you may even have the ability to hear with inner hearing, where you get information not through an audible sound, but you'll hear a voice, and it may be combined with a vision too, where you hear and see a word in your mind's eye. How many of you know which clair you have? If you do, write it in the chat box. Let us know. Is it clear? Can you see, feel, know, sense? What is your strongest clair? Okay. Knowing and sensing, good. You just know, good. Sense things, good. Wonderful. So some of you already know what your clairs are. Beautiful. So let's do another little exercise. And this is, if you don't know what your clair is, or even if you do know what your clair is, let's do a little exercise together where you're going to be able to tune into something that I have in my hand. So I invite you to tune into the palm of my hand, because I have a coin in my fist. Okay. And maybe you can discover what type of coin it is. Don't start yet. Is it a silver dollar, a penny, quarter, nickel, dime? So for right now, let go of your thoughts or your ideas about the coin or about my hand. Okay. So I invite you to use your imagination and imagine that you can see or feel my left shoulder. Then when you see it and feel it, with your mind's eye, travel down from my shoulder to my elbow. And then take your imagination from my elbow down to my wrist. And then with your inner knowing, drop into the palm of my hand. What do you see? What do you know? What type of coin is in my hand? Write it in the chat box. Don't be afraid, because there won't be a wrong answer. Okay, this is, nobody's grading you. This is for fun, okay? Quarter, quarter. Come on, more of you. Quarter with an eagle, quarter. Oh my gosh, quarter. I sensed a quarter, a penny, dollar, nickel. Okay, I just got goosebumps because so many of you said quarter, and that's exactly what it is. So good job. Good job. And for those of you who didn't have it correct, don't worry about it, because this was, like I said, this was just fun, right? And at least you saw a coin, right? Perfect. I asked the coin to show itself to me. Nice. Great, Marianne. Perfect. Thanks for taking part in that. It's using that very same capacity that you just did, your imagination. That's how we perform energy healing. So how does the healing session work? Well, I was directed to invite angels, the divine, ascended masters, or anybody that you might be familiar with is who you could invite into a session with you, just to connect with you, prepare you, to help you determine the issues within a person's body. And then the next thing I do would be to scan through the body. You're tuning into that innate that we talked about earlier, right? Okay. You saw the coin. You can do the same thing with someone's body, right? Then you can receive information through one or more of your clairs, and then you ask what to do about it. Does this make sense? Okay. Questions so far? Let's pause here for a minute and take some questions. Okay. How do I tune out of the monkey mind that can interfere? Angels help me. Okay. Joanne, thank you so much for that. I think that's something that all of us have at some time or another in our lifetime. How do I just stop the mind? We've tried to meditate, so still can't stop the thoughts that want to come in. So let me ask the guides for all of us right now? What's the best way? Because like I said, we can meditate and other things, but we're going to reverse engineer. So instead of trying to get out of our monkey mind, trying to stop the thoughts, we reverse that and tune into that inner sense, that inner presence. Okay. How did you just see the coin in my hand? You took your mind out of it, right? I took you on a little journey from my shoulder slowly down my arm and landed you in the palm of my hand so that you weren't thinking about my hand. I took you on this little journey, right? Same way for you. Know that there's a presence that loves you, that you are a piece and a part of. And by just inviting it, maybe putting your hands on your heart and saying, okay, I've had enough of my mind. I've had enough of my thoughts. I love you guys, but let's just calm down here for a minute. I want to feel my inner self. And when you're quiet, there's nothing here. There's nothing to do, nothing to think about. Nothing to do but breathe. That feels pretty good, huh? So make this a practice. We're never going to get rid of our humanity, our egos. We just love them into the submission of the sacred being that lives inside of you. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you for that, Joanne. How many of you already do some form of energy healing? Put me in the chat box. Wonderful. Good. Thank you. All right. So there's something I want to share with you now. You can feel energy. You are intuitive. Congratulations. We all prove that to ourselves here today. Yes? Oh. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about, again, how I started in this, because I was in a field that I absolutely loved. I was an award-winning interior designer, and I didn't want to leave that profession, but I kept getting nudged. I kept hearing, do the work where you're being called, do the work. But I loved being with people. I loved being out in people's homes. I did fairs. I met a lot of clients. I was running a small business in my home. And you see here some of my work that I've done as an interior designer, but I was still getting nudged, right? And I even taught people interior design in my basement. I loved doing it, but I didn't listen to the nudge, and look what happened. Not that this is going to happen to you, but I was sitting at a stoplight waiting to turn left into the grocery store parking lot. I was the first in line of 4. This woman in the big car there that got all smashed up, she came from behind and smashed into that back car, which created a chain reaction and hit me. And this on the lower left, that was my bumper. You see, I didn't sustain much damage at all, but it did push me out into the intersection. So I was really shook up, but you know what I did immediately? I called my healer friend in New York. I said, what is going on? She said, Deb, you were getting nudged. How you want the 2x4 to be next? This was minor. So are you going to finally say yes to doing your work? Within a month, I quit my job because I was also working part-time at Ethan Allen. I quit my job and I bought a booth in the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo in Denver. I created this booth, put my little table up there, invited people in, and I did 20-minute sessions for $20. And I had my web guy build me a website all within a month. I got so tired of hearing the nudge and denying myself. And I finally said yes. So here on the left, my girlfriend took a picture of me actually doing a session at that fair. And by the way, I did probably 3 a year for a couple of years. And on the right, I did live sessions. I invited people into my home. I don't do that anymore, but now everything's on Zoom, but I even did sessions in my home. And then the lucky day came, this wonderful, amazing day came, where I got to be on John Burgos' show, where many of you may have met me. And then I was been on other shows as well. And so my business and my practice has grown and grown. However, during my very first show with John, February 9th, 2021, we were having a conversation, and all of a sudden in my mind's eye, again, this vision popped in of these light workers on the planet all lined up. But they also showed me that there were so many holes in that lineup of healers. And they said, there's not enough. And I said, well, I can't do this by myself. So I started teaching. I started teaching what I knew, those 18 proprietary healing techniques that I was given just by putting one foot in front of the other and doing what I knew that I should be doing, what I was being called to do. And I take it very personally and very seriously that we need healers right now on the planet. So remember the golden angel I talked about before? When I first got that message, oh, maybe I can just teach this, I asked the golden angel, okay, golden angel, if you embodied me, can I transmit your frequency to other people so that they can have the same experiences that I did 3 years ago? She said yes. She said, yeah, go ahead. So within just a month or two, I had created the Medical Intuitive Mentoring Program. And now that I have over 50 happy graduates from that program. But these were some of the resistance points that I heard up front. There's no way I can do what you do. I can't do that. There's absolutely no way. And I don't like change. Some of you may feel that way. I did, even though I asked and asked and asked to heal people. I knew I couldn't do it alone. So that's why I work with the Ascended Masters, right? And the angels, and some galactics too, right? So many of my students came in not knowing if they could do it, but look it, they've graduated, and many of these students that have graduated, these 50, over half of them have thriving healing practices. Half of them. And the others are using all of my proprietary techniques for themselves and their loved ones. Okay. Some of them even become what we call the golden angels. So when they go through the program and they've received the transmission of the golden angel, now there's healers on my website, which is exactly what I wanted to happen. This is exactly what the guides told me. Train other healers, put them on your website, get them out into the public. And right now we have Beatrice, and there's 3 others that you see that are in training that will also be on my website soon to help to fill in those empty spots that we were shown. Okay. How would you feel if you saved a life? How about 100 lives? How about 1,000 lives? What if you could help people out of pain, shrink tumors, body's energy, right? All we need to do is manipulate the frequency, the auric field. Okay? People get better. What if you could help your aging parents feel better? What if you could give your pet a few more years of life? What if you could help your kids and your grandkids recover emotionally and physically? So in this program, it's actually a 12-month long program. You'll learn everything that I learned, okay? The galactic chiropractic, quantum acupuncture, what's that? That is energetic acupuncture, where just like the golden angel, a healing master from the Ming Dynasty came and into my session one day and taught me how to do energetic acupuncture. You get 18 of the golden healing angel techniques. You can learn ancestral healing. You learn about the chakras and the Taurus field, which is that energy body. You learn about epigenetics, trauma healing, and set up your own healing practice and more. You also get 23 teaching modules, you see here, and there are 24 live group mentoring meetings on Zoom. Anybody who's in the program gets 2 one-on-one hour sessions with me. You'll receive live activations, videos that are yours to keep. You get personal attention, a graduation certificate, and a transmission of the Golden Healing Angel to propel you into sensing deeper, know that deep in that knowing, the ability to hear, to expand your consciousness and connection. What are the benefits? Help others restore their health. You'll bolster your confidence in tuning in. You get personal support, joyous fulfillment, and you can earn up to $300 an hour doing energy healing work. Okay, you can forge lifelong friendships and become a certified medical intuitive and have your own healing practice should you decide that's what you're being called to do. So now I'm not the only one who facilitates this program. I'm not the only one who meets with you on Zoom throughout the program. Right now, I have people who can help. They're going to be your facilitators who support you through the program. They do all the communication with you. And they also help guide you through those Zoom meetings. So right now, I want to say hi to Katie. Katie, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today. I am just so excited about Deb's offering for this program. I did it in a lot less time, and I think it's just so amazing that it's going to be stretched out over time, so you have a lot more time to go through and learn all of the techniques and everything. I think for me, when I first learned about medical intuition, I was struggling with some of my own health issues, and I had a physician tell me that I would have to be on a medication called Synthroid for the rest of my life because I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and that's an autoimmune condition. And for some reason, when I very first heard that, it just did not resonate with me. And I thought, why in the world would I have to be on a drug for the rest of my life? I said, there's got to be a better way. And I was introduced to a medical intuitive 20 some years ago. And to this day, I don't even want to call it mine because I don't own it anymore. But I no longer take any pharmaceuticals, and Hashimoto's is completely gone. It's in remission or whatever. But that is something that I thought, wow, if I could help other people do this. And a little way down the road, I was also struggling with infertility, which was also part of the Hashimoto's. And I have 3 beautiful children. I did not listen to them and say that I was advanced maternal age and I would not be able to conceive. And I have 3 beautiful children. And a little while later, I ended up with SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And again, I went and saw a medical intuitive, and I went through this gut healing program for like 18 months. And I think I got to be the sickest that I had ever been. After doing that, I went to see a medical intuitive, and within 3 months, my SIBO was gone completely. And I thought, wow, I want to learn how to do this. And so I found Deb on one of her amazing shows and signed up for a galactic chiropractic session with her when I first met her, and it completely helped align and strengthen my spine. And so that was my first introduction to her. And then I ended up doing her program, and I could not be happier. I'm really excited where things are going. And probably one of the most amazing things that I learned from her program is all of her proprietary techniques, because these are things that you will not find anywhere else. They are Deb's own amazing techniques that she has received and had shared with us. So I'm just really grateful for all of those amazing techniques that I've learned, and I can share those and help heal other people.
Katie, thank you so much. And by the way, Katie is actually facilitating the morning class. We're running 2 separate programs, 11 a.m. Central on Tuesdays, and an evening class, 6 p.m. Central, every other Tuesday starting now. Anyway, so Katie is, again, facilitating with me the morning class. Thanks so much, Katie. And now, Terry, let's hear from you. Say hi to everybody.
I've been very blessed with health, so I did not come to meet Deb with health issues, but I've always been on a journey to enhance my inner being and my consciousness. I've always worked towards releasing blocks and trauma, always feeling like there was something more. And I've always been interested in helping others do the same. In meeting Deb, I met Deb. We had a one-on-one session, just to give you a little snippet. And then I was having a small issue, and it was an amazing help for me. I had a nerve issue going through my face that was new, and I didn't know what to do with it. So anyway, she helped me with that. But in our conversation, I learned about her program, and we discussed what my journey has been spiritually. And I had told her that I've always been interested in this sort of thing, and I've always had an inner knowing, but also practiced Reiki. I actually did Reiki out of my home for a while back in the early 90s. But as a mother of 3 small children, I never thought that I would be able to sustain a career with that. And throughout probably, the next 20 years, again, always helping people, but on a smaller scale, and never really having the courage to step out and move forward. And when her medical intuitive program came to be, I was very intimidated with that, thinking, oh, I could never do that. But after taking her course and then taking the mastering mentoring program, I have to say her techniques, how you grow and learn, are absolutely amazing. As Katie mentioned, there are no other techniques out there like this, and they really are magnificent and wonderful. And if anybody is interested in moving forward in a healing career, or just healing yourself and getting more evolved within your inner being, it's an amazing program. I love all her techniques, but I think my favorite one is the AAL technique, which to me just really connects with your soul and the inner child. But also throughout her program, as you start to practice with others, I think that was huge for me as well. It really showed me that we all have this ability, and that once you relax enough and you go down within your heart and you actually connect and channel these amazing masters, you see that we're all the same. We all live from our heart, and we can all do this. But we just need the courage, number one, and we need to step out, take that leap of faith, and just move forward. So if this is resonating with you, I can't say enough about it, honestly. And I am so very, very excited to be teaching the evening course. Take that leap of faith, and you won't be disappointed. I promise you that.
Terry, thank you so much. That was lovely. Let me ask you one question.
Sure.
Were the techniques hard to learn?
No, they were not hard to learn. No, not at all.
From the heart, right?
Yes, exactly. That's all it is, just from the heart. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So again, Terry co-facilitates with me on evenings. So thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Sure. What others have said, in addition to what Katie and Terry had said, they've said it was a very thorough program. It was the most amazing gift, amazing and beautiful gift I could ever receive. I feel so clear, connected, and guided. And if you are registering for this program, get ready to receive everything you need to achieve your goals and desires with great confidence. You'll expand and grow into your higher self and learn to tap into your innate self, that body we talked about earlier, to heal yourself and others. Why register today? Because you want to be part of something bigger than yourself. I hear this all the time from people who have gals and guys who have registered for the program. And by the way, this isn't just for women. We have men in our program, okay? You want to unleash those innate gifts that you know are within you. You want to fine tune them, right? You have plenty of opportunity to. And you're also tired of denying yourself. And getting a nudge, like me, for years I was nudged. And like I said, when I finally said yes to teaching this, to creating this program, I was so tired of denying myself, okay? You're ready to also remove your old patterns and get on with love. And you want to make a difference and contribute positively in the world because you're needed. You also want to be part of a community and to feel your joy again. And I tell you, when you're in your purpose, the biggest benefit of that is your joy. So here are some questions some people ask. Can I help others if I'm still healing? I hear this not all the time, but much of the time. If I'm still on my healing journey, can I heal others really then if I feel so broken? I have to tell you, as long as you're in a physical body, you're going to be healing. Okay. Look what Katie even said. She came in with quite a few illnesses that weren't so pleasant. I myself, I don't have so many physical issues, but I do heal emotionally through creating, teaching this program to others and working on myself as I'm not a perfect human being and I never will be, but I love helping others. And in the same vein, I help myself. And what if you can't do what I do? We have to realize this isn't about us. It's the number one thing the guides told me when I did my very, very first healing session. You saw my healing space in my basement. A woman was going to come to my house, my very first paying client in my home. I woke up in terror in the morning. And I said, what am I going to say to this woman? You know what the guide said to me? This isn't about you at all. Got out of my own way. And that healing session went wonderfully. I was very, very happy, and so was she. So what if you have a fear of being seen? Like your family and friends, or, what if you are shy in some way? Well, we have plenty of practice time. And again, are you on this journey in this physical body to stay in fear and hide? You have gifts for a reason. You're so gifted intuitively. You proved it to yourself today. So say yes. And what if I hurt someone? In all the years I've been doing this, and all the years I've been helping my students practice, no one has ever hurt anybody. Okay. So rest assured. And can I afford it? Well, it is a year-long program, but can you put a price on a new career? And what's the cost of a college education? And this is an education. I have a marketing person who just last week told me I should not be charging any less than $40,000 for this program. I said no. Like I said before, I take this so personally to fill the empty spots in the troops of light workers on the planet. I'm keeping this very affordable at only $375 a month. Starts Tuesday, 3 days from now. You can register at my website, deborahgetz.com/MIMP, which stands for Medical Intuitive Mentoring Program. Okay. When you register, you're going to be getting my brand new Archangel Glyphs to $49 value. When you just register on the website, you're going to get an automatic coupon to go in and purchase them and get refunded the price that you would have paid. So what are Archangel Glyphs? They're symbols that I downloaded from each of the H8 archangels, including Metatron. Okay, the major archangels are Raphael, Uriel, Gabriel, Michael. And there's also instructions on how to use them. So they're transformative glyphs where you can print them out and tuck them under your pillow, hang them on your bathroom mirror, put them in your car to receive the energy, the frequency of these sacred symbols. Okay, that's free just for registering. Those of you who are ready to say yes, go to my website, deborahgetz.com/MIMP. The whole registration form is right there. You receive opportunity to have a complimentary 20-minute healing session with me. I found this quote on Facebook or something quite a while ago, and I had it saved on my computer, and I want to share it with you. It's time to stop pretending that you're an average person. You've got big work to do. Big. So join me in the ranks and let's get that work done. So again, it starts Tuesday, September 26th. Choose the morning or evening session. You're registered and excited to start. Yay, Melissa, thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Again, I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope that it was very beneficial for you, that you learned a lot. Email us at support@deborahgetz.com. And you can just say, hey, I'd like a 15-minute phone call with Deb about the Medical Intuitive Mentoring Program, which starts on Tuesday. Okay? I'll be happy to do that. Thank you all for joining me today on this first day of fall 2023 for Energy Healing 101. We so enjoyed having you with us. Lots of love to all of you. Bye-bye.